My name is December James. I'm the voice of the saint and sinner. I speak for followers of Christ who fall short, still show up, and still choose Him. Not because we're perfect, but because He is. And this is my testimony. In this season, like I said, I'm by myself a lot more. It's a lot quieter in this season. I'm having to do a lot of soul searching, so to speak. And it's in this time where I start to pray a bit more because I'm seeing things change around me and I don't have an answer for how to deal with it. And so I have this child that's here, and then this child that's on the way. Me and my first son's mom, of course, we've broken up and everything's whatever it is at this point. And then I have this mother of my second child who's on the way in. But me and her aren't really eye to eye because she's going through her own personal things and not really cluing me in on whatever is going on. Our relationship has changed in a way because I don't work at the job anymore. So a lot of that time that we used to spend together has now been altered. And now it's a thing where we're having to choose each other as opposed to just being around each other by default. In this season, she actually moves 2, maybe 3 minutes tops around the corner from me. And it's wild that in that season, we actually spent more time apart than we ever did when she lived 30 minutes away from me. It's, God has a way of doing things when He's ready to do them. But nonetheless, go through this season and I'm kind of at odds with my first son's mom because she finds out who the mother of this child is, being the same woman that I cheated on her with, and she feels away. And so we're at odds. And then I'm at odds with the mother of my child who's on the way because we're not really speaking or seeing eye to eye because she's not communicating with me. And I remember feeling this dark feeling of like despair. It's the best way I can explain it. It was despair and I was feeling like distraught. And I remember thinking like, maybe I'm the problem. Maybe if I wasn't here, it would be easier for everybody. And I remember one night, I went to the studio. So I just wanted to get out of the house. I wanted to get out of my head. I just wanted to not think about things for a little while. And I went to the studio. Bear with me. Went to the studio and I stayed there for a while, but I wasn't really there, And I leave, I go and I get in my car. I'm about to go home. And I have this thought, and I'm like, what if I just end it all right now? What if I just end it all right now? I could take care of it all right now. Just end it. Then maybe everybody would be happier. Because at that point I felt like I was the source of everybody's pain. I was the source of everybody's frustration. I was the source of why all these things were going wrong. It was me. I was the common denominator. So I felt like maybe if I'm not here, everything else would be better for everybody else. And that night, I tried to take my own life. Absolute lowest moment of my life. It's the moment of my life I'm the least proud of, by far. But I was going to take my life that night. But God. So I got in my car and leaving from the studio, there's just straightaway. When you pull out the parking lot, there's this straightaway. Then you make this left, go up the hill, go through the gate, down the street, go about your way. But on this straightaway, at the end of the straightaway, like right at the curb, there's these metal poles, concrete poles, whatever you want to call them, they're poles. And I'm thinking if I just get in the car and floor it all the way into these poles, it'll be over. It'll all be over. So I got in my car. And I proceeded to pull out. And I put my foot to the floor. As I close my eyes and just prepare for the impact, but God, I hear my son's voice. He says, "Daddy?" And so, as I hear his voice, I hear, "Daddy?" I come to like everything is just like, it's like I'm sucked out of this vacuum. And I slam on the brakes like and I stop maybe this far from the poles. And I remember sitting there for a hot second. I just hung my head. And then I pick my head up and I proceed to roll out and I go home. And I just remember the days following that, I just felt so just like low, because I've always been against taking yourself out. Like I've always felt like that's the worst thing you could do. Like it don't get no worse than that, you know? And I've always felt like regardless of what goes on or what happens, what we go through in this life, There's no excuse for taking yourself out. Like, it's never that bad. It's never that serious. And I encourage you, if you ever feel that way, talk to somebody, anybody. Reach out, let somebody know what's going on, because that was a mistake that I made. I never talked to anybody about that. I never expressed that to anybody, that I was feeling that way. I've only told a few people about that night, you know, even still. But I encourage you, if you ever feel that urge, if you ever have those type of thoughts, please, please, please do yourself a favor and talk to somebody. Reach out to somebody, whoever you got to reach out to. I promise you, there will be somebody who will listen. I promise you. And if won't nobody else listen, call me. I'll listen. I promise you. After that day, like I said, I felt so low. And I was just kind of out of it following that. And I remember being in that season. Just, it was like one thing after another. It was like things were just compounded. And I'm still kind of at odds with my first son's mom, and my second son's mom. We still not really eye to eye. We're at least speaking now at this point, but we still not really eye to eye. I'm still don't really have a solid job. I was working like these little temp jobs in between here and there. I drained my investment accounts, drained my retirement accounts, just trying to make ends meet every month. And so, fast forward a little bit more. I got a job finally. But, when you get a new job, you got to put those 3 weeks in the hole. So I get into it with my landlord over parking, of all things. It was a real bad parking situation in the complex that I was living in at the time. And I get into it with my landlord over parking, and I threatened to take legal action. And one thing leads to another, and they basically tell me I got to roll out. I got to go. And they give me 30 days to go. And so, mind you, I just started a new job, so I don't got no money. I don't have no savings. My unemployment had been frozen for months because they were investigating the case. All my accounts is depleted. And I'm feeling so distraught. Like, I don't know what's going to be what at this point. And still absent of this personal relationship with God. But I'm at least praying at this point, but I'm still not there for real. And when they say it rains, it pours. When it rains, it pours, man. So in going through all of this, mother of my second child makes the executive decision. She's going to move to another state. in utero with my child, our child. But not only that, she's going to move to another state, but she moves to another state and doesn't tell me at all. Yeah. One of the most hurtful things I've ever experienced in my life. I was so hurt. And I tell you, hurt. I even wrote a song at the time called TSH. That hurts. If you want to hear it, DM me. I'll send you a link to it. It's not out anymore, but if you want to hear it, saddest song I ever wrote. One of saddest songs I've ever wrote. But she moves to another state. Not a text, not a call, not a Post-it note tucked into my windshield wiper, not a relayed message to somebody else, not a DM, not a voicemail, nothing. I don't find out until she's already there, moved in. And so when I say I was hurt, I was hurt. And it took me a long time to get past that. I still ask God to this day to help me wring that hurt out of my heart, because it still surfaces sometimes. And I still, to this day, I ask God, help me, wring that seed of bitterness out of my heart, because it hurt. It really, 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 really hurt. And once again, surfaced that lie that the devil always likes to use to handicap me, that I'm not good enough, that I'm inadequate. Because what would make the mother of your child move to another state and not even tell you? It's like, what is that? And how do I deal with that? How do I process that? And it also reinforced a thing I held on to from my mom all those years ago, that if she would leave, then how would I expect anyone else to stay? And so compound that with having to figure out where I'm about to live, because my landlord is giving me 30 days to roll out. Trying to figure out life. And I have $286 to my name. With 17 days to go until I'm homeless. And I get a call from the unemployment office. God is so sweet. He's so sweet. So beautiful the way God operates, I swear. I often call him the architect of the highest order, because it's the way he orchestrates it all for his glory, And so unemployment office calls, and the guy who's working my case, he says, tell me again about what happened. So I tell him the whole story. I let him know what happened. There was some discrimination at play and things like that. And so I tell him, he says, okay. He says, I've been trying to get in contact with the employer for months now. And every time I reach out, they don't contact me back. And I'm unable to verify their side. He says, so I'm going to try one last time. And if I can't get in contact with anybody there, I'm going to go ahead and approve your case. As God would have it, he didn't get in contact with anybody there. And he approves my case. Now, I'm not knowing what that means. I'm like, okay, approve my case. I guess I can start applying for unemployment again. Getting my little payment every week. Cool, whatever. And then I wake up the next day. When I went to sleep, remember, $286 to my name, 17 days away from being homeless. With a 4-year-old and a new baby on the way in 4 months. And I wake up to almost $6,000 in my bank account. But God. But God. But God. But God, man. But God. But God. Even thinking about it now, it's still like, God, you so vicious, shorty. Like, you so lit. Like, mind you, this is at a time where I've been so distant from God and I ain't really been in relationship with God. Yet and still, he's the same yesterday, today, and forevermore. He said he will never leave, never forsake. Never. And so I wake up to almost $6,000 in my bank account. And this back pay of this unemployment from all the months where I filed and I wasn't getting paid. And then it went on for so long that I had actually stopped filing because I was like, man, if they ain't gonna pay, they ain't gonna pay, whatever. So had I had kept filing, it would have been even more. But nonetheless, it's exactly what I needed. So I wind up actually finding a place in the state where my son's mom had moved to, where I could be there to support her because I wasn't about to let her raise a child on her own, especially with it being her first child. It's my second, but her first. I couldn't, just not that type of person. So I said, I have to be there to support her. So God helped me find a place. This place didn't look at my credit. This place didn't look at my renter's history. They simply wanted to know if I could pay the security deposit and when I could come. That's it. And literally every single thing that I needed to get down there and get settled, from the moving truck to transporting my car to getting my place and paying the security deposit, last month's rent, getting everything to furnish my place, put food in my fridge. Everything was covered completely. Everything. But God. But God. But wait, there's more.